could it be that humanity is much more active in space than you've been led to believe? What if major space agencies like NASA are just a facade? What if all the space shuttles, space station, and Mars rovers are just smoke and mirrors? Diversions to keep your attention away from the reality of our activities in space. What if humans are patrolling the outer boundaries of our solar system right now, in military-grade spaceships capable of fighting off extraterrestrial invaders? Sure, it sounds completely beyond the realms of reality, right? But if you suspend your disbelief for just a few minutes and entertain this possibility, you'll discover one of the most interesting, awe-inspiring, and, let's face it, entertaining conspiracy theories known to man. We're talking about a secret space program most people have never heard of. Project Solar Warden.
There's 51 million people entering another
surveillance camera capturing the
unidentified flying
lockdowns and mass testing.
Today, the world is going to end.
According to the most reliable rumors, Project Solar Warden began all the way back in the year 1980, although it has its roots in secret programs stretching back before World War II. According to the rumors, Project Solar Warden was initially a joint project between 12 different nations. The first ship was apparently launched in 1981, and many others followed over the next few years. The main ships were described as cruisers, and they were cigar-shaped motherships capable of independent long voyages. Smaller three-man fight craft occupied these larger vessels. Eventually, this secret space program began its own separate entity with its own president, government, and laws. The goal was to eliminate the divisions between independent nations on Earth, creating a more unified organization free from internal conflict. It is also said that Project Solar Warden is divided into two different fleets: a military fleet for offensive and defensive operations, and, of course, a non-military fleet for science and research. With all that being said, the earliest vessels sent into space by this secret space program were simply repurposed submarines. This was before the official creation of Solar Warden, at a time when top-secret organizations needed a quick and easy way to get into space and patrol the solar system. Since submarines were already designed to operate underwater with pressurized, sealed hulls, they became an obvious choice for space exploration. As the story goes, these vessels were simply fitted with torsion field engines and launched into space during the 1950s. But why the sudden need to put military-grade vessels into space? What sparked the creation of Project Solar Warden in the first place? Apparently, high-ranking leaders on Earth were reacting to a perceived extraterrestrial threat. They needed to get military vessels into space as soon as possible because, if they didn't, our planet would be completely at the mercy of malevolent alien races. Solar Warden really started to push ahead after President Reagan was briefed on the existence of 4 alien races. After receiving this information, he accelerated Project Solar Warden, giving it the resources necessary to achieve notable upgrades. Of course, some would argue that this secret space program truly began during after the Second World War, when the Nazis and their Vril Society were experimenting with anti-gravity technology and primitive flying saucers. After Operation Paperclip, many of Germany's top scientists were brought to the United States to continue their work, leading to some of the earliest military-grade spacecraft. On the other hand, some say that it wasn't just the Nazis who were helping the United States build the secret space fleet. They may have had help from a mysterious extraterrestrial race known as the Nordics. These individuals appeared to be human at first glance, although they came from another part of this galaxy. According to more rumors, Solar Warden today consists of 8 motherships that are approximately 2 kilometers long. The fleet also contains over 40 scout ships that are considerably smaller. Additional ships including fighters, shuttles, supply ships, and hospital ships. Personnel are mainly recruited from the United States and Canada, although there are few representatives from other countries as well. This secret space program is also said to include 9 Earth-orbiting space stations with cloaking technology. Although the program is mostly confined to near-Earth operations, Solar Warden allegedly has almost 50 research stations on other planets throughout the galaxy. In terms of weaponry and defense, Solar Warden vessels rely on electromagnetic technology for shielding and cloaking. This electromagnetic technology can also allow ships to jump across long distances by folding space and time. The ships with advanced stealth capabilities operate closest to Earth, as these ships are impossible to detect by anyone who happens to be staring up at the night sky with a powerful telescope. According to the reports, these ships are constantly patrolling various sectors of the solar system. If they come into contact with an extraterrestrial vessel, they either ward them off or use military force. If these extraterrestrial vessels follow the correct protocols, they can be guided into the solar system on a predetermined flight path. While Project Solar Warden might sound benevolent, there are those who claim this secret program is much darker than it sounds. Rumor has it some victims are abducted from Earth and forced to engage in slave labor for the program. According to these rumors, some live in tiny rooms their whole lives, while others are taken to colonies on Mars or other planets against their will, never to return to Earth. If you've reached this point, you might think that Project Solar Warden is nothing more than an interesting science fiction story. Where's the proof? How does anyone know that this is actually happening? Let's start with Gary McKinnon, the computer hacker who broke into NASA's mainframe in the early 2000s. McKinnon was specifically searching for evidence of UFOs and secret space programs when he broke into the NASA mainframe. He claimed to find stunning evidence while sifting through NASA's files. Among other things, Gary discovered images of UFOs and evidence of anti-gravity technology. But perhaps the most convincing evidence he found was an Excel spreadsheet that listed a number of non-terrestrial officers in the Air Force. This spreadsheet also detailed ship-to-ship transfers, suggesting that these non-terrestrial officers were being moved between vessels. Gary claims that the names of these vessels do not match any ships currently being used by the Navy or any other military on Earth. Gary was initially arrested for computer crimes, but he was never extradited to the United States. While some claim that the British government was merely protecting him, others claim that the US never wanted this case to go to trial. Why? Well, you know why. Because if Gary was given the chance to stand trial, he would reveal to the world what he saw. Another piece of evidence comes from President Reagan. After meeting with the country's top space scientists, he publicly stated, "It was fascinating. Space truly is the last frontier, and some of the developments there in astronomy, etc. are like science fiction, except they're real. I learned that our shuttle capacity is such that we could orbit 300 people. As we all know, there is no known spaceship capable of transporting 300 people. Some say that Reagan was accidentally referring to one of Solar Warden's larger vessels. Finally, it's worth mentioning that the United States pumps trillions of dollars into black budget projects. No one actually knows where this money goes or how it's being spent. Could this money be funding a secret space project? That's certainly a possibility. Could this be all fiction? Certainly. But we don't know for sure either way, and there's nothing wrong with pondering the possibilities. Who knows? Maybe one day the United States government will reveal where all those trillions of dollars in taxpayer money have gone. Maybe one day they'll say, "Oh, hey, by the way, you know how thousands of people go missing every year? You know the ones, their pictures are on posters and milk cartons? Yeah, we sold those people into extraterrestrial slave labor. Sorry about that." Until then, we can only wonder.